too mature for her age, too young to be so mother-like, too responsible and demanding. And when things don't go her way, result to violence! It's clear that Fern and Frieren, beyond Journey's End, is wise beyond her years, taking care of her master before he passed away, and taking even more care of her elf master as she sleeps away, in her way, yet has all the struggles a typical teenage girl would go through, like having boy issues, throwing temper tantrums, and being hangry. Fern is by all accounts a person you can rely on in most situations. She's almost always cool, calm, collective, and ready to become Fern, the Slayer 2.0. With the perfect sensei in which the legacy of magic for humanity stems as far back as Flamme, her master's master, Fern was able to hone her ability of pew pews and deliver one of her most iconic moments. From orphan to orphan, war-torn village, family and friends obliterated. It is a man with a bottle in his hand, disguised as a bum, but we all know him as our corrupt priest, one of the heroes of the heroes party that helped convince this cute and innocent purple-haired girl, preventing her from converting her mental jumps to her doom to a real-life physical one.
Chichi. Haha.
Do you really want to throw your cherished memories of them away in this way? Guess not, because you can grow up to enjoy booze with old man Hector one day. Fern represents the reality of what preventing a self-abort would look like if humanity fostered diligent care for the young, as saving this purple-haired pup from the ruins of the war-torn southern lands, giving a young living human being a chance to make something of life. That is what Himo would do, and that is what Hector did for this young child, giving her the opportunity to become something. Unlike Sari, that raised Flamme on a whim, Fern is one of Hector's last acts of the goddess's grace, along with quitting the booze. It is one that ultimately gets put on Frieren's shoulders as one that can pew pew and teach a child that has shown that she has an app to pew pew as well. Also, you're basically gonna be her mother now, Frieren. See ya. Corrupt to the very end, with Frieren taking on Fern as her apprentice, traveling party member, and essentially elf mother. This starts the next arc of Fern's journey as one that already comes with the foundational morals, ethics, passed down from her parents before they passed away, and it was Hector who helped her grow further into such a dignified person. There's nothing like enjoying all the little moments with your cute little apprentice that you have basically raised like your own, only to see she's all grown up. On multiple occasions throughout Frieren, it is hinted at the significance of one of Frieren's biggest themes and legacy. Nothing is more foundational to Frieren's storytelling than the use of magic. It was Frieren's own master in Flamme that saved her from demons to deliver some underhanded maneuvers of a kaboom that birthed humanity's use of magic as they see it today, proliferating across the globe in the form of flight, all the way down to the uses of bedroom fun time. From flying to shooting Zoltrak pew pews, Fern represents the results of humanity's biggest triumphs and legacy passed down. As we all know that elf lifespans can last centuries, their sense of time is on a snail-like pace compared to humans that progresses faster due to the shortening of lifespans and the urgency it feels to move humanity forward and to basically not die. It's this passing of the torch that is one of humanity's greatest talents. This all culminating into this. Fern symbolizes so much for the story of Frieren, as she is the direct result of humanity's blood, sweat, and tears to leave the world in a better place. Flamme gave the world magic and then raised the mage that would help spread the love of it, while that hoarding elf Frieren, destined to bring an age of peace, passes along everything she knows to the now thriving Fern. It is Fern who was set up to pass her one day like legacies are meant to be. Fern, who got to learn everything about magic that seemed unimaginable during Himo's time, now gets to prosper from that advanced knowledge from a young age, to now being the mage that can possibly get off a Zoltrak spell faster than anyone else, and shoot from unimaginable distances, rivaling and maybe even surpassing Frieren herself. It's this word unimaginable that pops up as a motif because imagination is everything for the creation of magic, and it's that imagination that results into the blessing that is Fern. And if there's one thing you don't mess with, it's a lady's hunger. It's this wild imagination of bringing something into reality that seems beyond far-fetched. It's what Frieren helped show Kane and Luine during the first class mage exam, and one where even Frieren herself, as strong as she is, cannot see herself defeating Seri. This is what makes Flame's legacy so appalling, as her own master, and the feet goddess, is one that is the exact opposite of Flame and Frieren's outlook on magic. One is an elitist that wants to gatekeep magic, to keep the sanctity, the preciousness of it, and the others want magic's beauty to be spread across the world, for better or worse. In which this culminates into one of Frieren's earliest and most crucial symbols in the flower. It's these flowers that get to bloom from those before that dedicated their entire lives, some without living out their own personal romances, to allow the legacies beyond to enjoy the fruits of their labor. That is their greater purpose. That is Stark and Fern. From Himo's teachings and Aizen's direct beating, Stark is the product of humanity's advancement into peace while maintaining the almighty strength to protect it. Fern embodies everything Flame and Frieren hope to leave humanity in good hands too, together forming a bond with some flair and a dip. That is what this flower means. Magic is the flower is Stark and Fern. Like those before Stark and Fern, the Frieren story shows that having a tragic past filled with different variations of disturbing trauma, being orphans, still can lead you to a life worth living. Seri raised Flame. Flame saved and raised Frieren. Hyther saved and raised Fern. While Frieren continued to show Fern that spells that help you with monotonous tasks matter too. While we get to understand the bigger themes of Frieren and how crucial it is to Fern's character, the most highlighted moments of the entire story often involves Fern. From the sad reality of growing up in a war-torn environment to the dark desires to end it all of the sudden, a turn to the most wholesome life one can ask for as deceased parents. It's this foundational building block from having great parents that allowed their daughter to live on, to eventually run into a cynical priest that so happens to be best friends with one of the greatest heroes in history, to unknowingly learn from the mage that helped take down the Demon King. Fern's apprenticeship to Frieren is just as important for character development as Frieren's mentorship is to her. Frieren rediscovers the importance and the fruits of building relationships, while Fern soaks in Frieren's degeneracy. This starts to bear fruit in the most epic of ways. Like against the first demon sage we get to see Frieren and Fern take down, it is Fern's first real battle against a tyrannical enemy from decades and decades ago, 80 years to be exact, that Frieren couldn't take down. Frightening, isn't it, for our dear little Fern? Nervous, and where Frieren put her through the ringer not too long before they start their fight. It is when Qual, one of the 7 demon sages, one of only a handful of mages that ever can say they defeated Frieren, wakes up from their 80 years of slumber, and who is the very one that birthed the killing spell, Zoltrak. It delivered us, quite possibly, Evan Call's greatest, most recognizable soundtracks in Zoltrak. It is here where we find out, oh, humanity has progressed so far and so fast in such little time compared to demons and elves that our little Fern defended every single attack that Qual had to offer, and did just enough, like Frieren taught her, to defend these kinds of attacks, to unleash some irony of her very own.
Zoltrak.
Frieren, starting off slow in the first couple of episodes, now gave us the first iconic moment that gave the story aura. And it is this arc with aura, aka the Demon Anya Forger arc, that took this aura of what Fern can be into an entirely new stratosphere. While Frieren is off yeeting her unbeknownst demon assassin, she leaves Lugner and Linny to Stark and Fern, because a student of Eisen that epically bashed a giant red dragon and her little Fern that she's seen grow every single day is more than enough on their own to take care of demon remnant trash. As Frieren shows who has more aura, Stark showed and Fern showed. Also, thank God that demons are just demons in this show. I am actually sick and tired of different stories telling me that demons are good people. Fern fighting Lugner was the Fern moment of all of Frieren. It had beautiful animation. It showed everything Frieren in Fern, mimicking Frieren's cold and stern exterior that delivers now the ironic demon killing spell.
Oh, so trap.
All of this flashy fighting was the perfect build-up to the eventual climactic finish of who's got more aura. This was the defining moment that produced the satisfying fruit of what the Frieren journey is all about in rewarding climactic fashion. It's hard to say that any moment beyond this can top what happened in this arc with Fern, Stark, and Frieren. Later on, it was in a flashback between just Frieren and Sari that brought in the scale of how we should be looking at the Frieren story. It is here that Sari presented to Frieren, not only in her own hard-headed way of destroying Flamme's request to continue training the Imperial mages in the Empire, but to show more insight into Flamme's character that gave even more meaning to the Field of Flowers spell. Even further, Sari acknowledges that humanity's progression will eventually overtake the elves, as it will be the Demon King, or a Ningen, that will eventually keep them. The crescendo the story has built, giving us pockets of what the story entails in the legacy of Himmel, now presented through one of the oldest living beings that has lived during the mythic era, during the goddess's time that Hector, Zine, and even Kraft the Monk praised too. There is no wider scope to display. This is that human era of surpassing the old ways. This is the age of Fern. As Frieren continues beyond Journey's End, Fern is humanity beyond. Well guys, let me know what you guys think about Fern and Frieren. She encompasses the essence of what Frieren is all about. She is truly the result of the foundational legacy of the entire story. She is everything wholesome, rewarding, and exciting about the story. She is Frieren's legacy offspring. Like how Stark is the same for Eisen and Himmel, we get to see the growth of Fern and Stark as the result of humanity's growth, all through the eyes of Frieren. So yeah guys, let me know what you guys think about Fern's character and how it relates to the entire story. And do me a favor guys, hit the like button if you want to Zoltrack some demons. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusin.com. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.